Occidental Square. It's down in Pioneer Square. Take the streetcar down there. Yeah, you'll be real close to it. It's like,
oh yeah, I can go there during lunch and get wasted.
Wasted. Lose that job. Woohoo.
Ethel. Oh yeah, there's a status effect in this game called old.
Oh really?
Yeah, it makes their hair gray.
What is it?
I think it makes them less physically capable, but I'm not certain because it's so uncommon. But yeah, speaking of losing jobs, Ethel pointed me toward a couple job listings for Snohomish County, based out of Everett, which start at like, I think they start at $42,000, which is more than I make now.
Damn.
And I'm perfectly qualified for them.
Dang.
But I didn't apply for them because they require a certified typing test, which I don't happen to have on hand at the moment, and because our office at work has been in such chaos lately from people just leaving and shit, that I would feel morally repugnant if I abandoned them right now.
Well, see, and this is what this is the move you do, is you interview for that other position, and then you have this offer, right? And then you come back to your job, and you're like, hey, I've been offered this amount of money for this other position. I would like to stay here. What can we do to keep me here?
Yeah, the problem with that is that as a federal employee, I don't have the ability to negotiate for salary. Salary, and we're union, so that's great, but the salary is very regimented. It's, you have your rank. I'm a GS6. It goes up to GS like 15 or something. So I'm fairly low, but you have your rank, and then you have steps, which represent how long you've been in service, basically. You can receive meritorious increases in steps, but usually it's like your first 3 increases come annually, and then they're like every 2 years, and then basically the idea is that there are 10 steps, and if you put in 20 years, you'll hit your 10th and final step at the end of those 20 years. So I received my first pay increase last year. At the end of this year, I'll see another one. So after a few years, I will bump up to that $42,000. But at the same time, the only reason I was even looking for jobs in the first place is because, not even to do with Trump, I'm just looking at my job, and it's like, I don't know where the upward mobility is with this particular position.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there are steps I can go. Like, okay, I'm here, but then I can transition into this, and then later that will prepare me to transition into this. There just doesn't seem to be that middle ground there. And B, because my program in particular deals with rewarding employee compensation for people who are, or who worked for the Department of Energy back in primarily between like the late 40s to the mid 80s. They are dying off.
Yeah.
They're just dying off, and even their like children, their survivors are dying off sometimes.
Dang.
Like, eventually this program's going to shut down specifically because there's no one left to serve. If I could transition into like the longshore branch of the employee compensation program, which is just like longshoremen who get hurt and file employee compensation claims, I'd be set for life. There's always going to be longshoremen. But
grandfather, take a look at this.
Yeah.
Mid, I didn't want to see your penis.
Always with the penises with us.
Sorry, I just haven't shown anyone this in a long time.
Because I've been at that library, you know. You can only slam it into so many books and hope somebody finds it one day and wonders what that stain is.
Is it going to build something cool now? Or?
Yeah, he's going to build something cool. The problem is that we're stranded. We are completely stranded because the only boats that were working were the boat pulled by Hydra and the fireboat. Right? But Hydra is dead, and the fireboat no longer has a fire crystal. But Mid found something undisclosed on those spooky sheets. Mid found something undisclosed within a book, which taught him basically how to make this boat go even without the fire crystal. And so just like Sid in Final Fantasy IV did with the airships, they're going to retrofit this.
I like that there's really good reasoning for all this shit. Like,
oh
it's
yeah,
just like, you're stranded. Like,
yeah.
it's not just like, oh well, you need a better ship, and we don't know where that one is yet. It's probably an underground facility. And
so many ships are underground in these games. That's another thing I was going through in my head. Like, how many airships start off underground?
How many of the games end either in a hole or in outer space?
Yeah.
How many ships are underground?
Most of them, a lot of them end in some manner of hole. All of them up to 10. Up to and including 10 end with you fighting in some nebulous void. It's incredible. My head. I think I'm starting to remember. Starting to remember why I didn't shave this big bushy mustache. Why do I have this thing?
He's like, oh well, lost it. I'm gonna go nap.
I'm old.
They all sad. Oh, I thought they were like...
Yeah, they were all sad because Sid's like, I'll never build again. But then Mid popped up, and seeing Sid with his grandson reminds Galoof of his granddaughter Kryl.
That's an interesting name.
Yeah, who is of indeterminate age, which makes her sexy drawing within the sky kind of unsettling. It's like, I get it, it's Japan, but kind of you.
Yeah.
Just you.
Never give up. Never.
Never give up. He's just beating him. He's just that's how you convince old people. You just hit them a bunch.
Because they're just at that age.
You just bare knuckle box them.
Because they're at that age where it's like they're kind of too tired to fight back, and then they're like, man, this pain.
It's easier to just do what their grandchildren want than to fight back. Even though you're fighting harpies and giant lobsters and shit.
I
don't know why that reminded me, but I was thinking about the episodic RPG thing. It would be great if after the whole story was done, like we released a bonus Christmas episode called like whatever the main heroes is save Christmas.
Yeah.
They just help Santa Claus and fight the Krampus and all of that.
That'd be great.
Oh, Krampus would be yeah. I hate our current obsession with Krampus, but he'd be a good Final Fantasy style boss.
Yeah.
Just like a free episode for anyone who has all the rest. It's like, here you go, one bonus episode for you. Merry Christmas.
It would be really great to basically make, instead of episodes of television, episodes of a game like that. Just really, entertaining to read and see what these characters are up to. Oh, Wolf Buddy.
And it gets around a problem that a lot of RPGs have. It's like, how do you justify getting from point A to point B? Right? You need to figure out, like, well, why can't they just, like, go there or do this? Because with episodes, like, let's say the X-Files, it's like, well, they're just being sent somewhere.
Yeah.
So you just open up and they're just in, Arkansas or whatever to investigate this incest family. But, so with an RPG, it's like you just open up and they're just in this part of the world, right? You don't need to... You have your whole world geometry set out beforehand just for the sake of consistency, but you don't need to figure out an excuse to get them over there and basically strand them there. It's like, oh, they're just here because that's their job.
So Galoof came to Earth...
Yeah,
riding a meteor.
Yeah, he rode a meteor here, which sounds like a pretty metal concept.
Like, is he the painkiller?
I think so. Yeah, but he's too old, so he's no longer faster than a laser bullet.
I mean, he's still pretty fast. But not laser bullet fast. That's real fast.
Yeah, Galoof. He's not from this planet. He came here on his meteor. And he was remembering 3 of his old buddies. I can't remember everything about them yet.
It's got to be a more comfortable place to nap.
Than the deck of a boat? Yeah.
I slept great!
I'm old! Oh, I slept great! Mid, I need more of your blood! Give me that young blood! Literally! Come here!
He's usually sleeping on rocks, so this wood is kind of a step up.
Yeah.
What'd you do to it? What'd you do to make it work?
I don't believe they explain I don't think they ever explain. They just like don't ask questions.
You see a bunch of really long oars come out the side.
Yeah.
And then,
did you just enslave people?
Nope. This is just a. It's just like a
slave galley.
Yeah, a book on slavery.
Yeah, that's what he found. Was a book on the history of slavery.
Grandfather,
okay.
I found out how we can make our ship move without any wind.
That's the new lore. It's just one page that says slaves. That's terrible. We're bad people. Now you have this little toot boat.
It's just like someone down there with a whip.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, first you need to make the oars.
Well, that works out perfectly because we just got our first whip, and now we have the Beastmaster class, which can equip whips. So we need to, down the bottom right, you see that like crescent-shaped island?
Mm-hmm.
We're going there.
Is this just how fast the boat moves?
I think I sped this up. I believe I did. I must have. This is going too quick.
Fins.
Yeah, these motherfuckers.
Just like a dancing team with like, I don't know, they got like hats and stuff, and they're all like doing that cool thing where they like roll the hats down their shoulders and stuff and flip it on their head.
They just want to show you their moves, but then you're like, oh no, we only interact with this world through our weapons.
Fins are like, oh boy, we haven't seen people in a while because the sea's been dead. Maybe they want to see our moves.
But then we just stab them. And they went, oh no. They stabbed Jeff. But not long for this world, boys.
Tell my
Make
wife.
sure. Tell my wife, jazz hands. And make sure you win the regional championship.
We will, Jeff.
Don't let all of our hard work go to waste. Don't do it. So remember those job shards that I wasn't able to get?
Yeah.
They're going to be here in just a moment, but not yet.
I was trying to understand what was going on there. I didn't think the shadows were moving at a different... Like, I don't know.
That guy is so shocked. As soon as you walk in here, there's a fucking earthquake. What?
I like that the eyes are not only big, but they have that little drip on the bottom.
Yeah. Like they're just gigantic squares. We can't make good circles at this size. Just make them squares. Remember all that work we put to get this boat? Say goodbye to the boat.
Oh, boat.
We didn't even park it there.
I wish the boat was like screaming, like, oh, no.
I wish it was a friendly anthropomorphic boat.
No.
Tell my wife hello.
Hello.
Was that your ship swallowed up in the whirlpool? Ha ha ha, that's too bad. What a dick.
Just punch him in his stupid bearded face. Oh, I haven't been punched in so long.
I'm so old.
Ooh, cornucopia.
Yeah, I think that cures Minnie.
How?
I guess because there's a bunch of stuff. There's just like something in there which will heal you. Just keep eating. Just keep eating and eventually something will cure you. That's why it costs so much. Maybe it's the apple or the squash or the... I don't know.
I think eventually you just learn which item it was.
Mm-hmm. Can't you just tell me that? Nope. So normally this guy would give you a hint as to the chocobos. Now that our boat's gone and we're fucking stranded here.
Does it explain how that happened, or is it just...
Yeah, he's like, oh, you mean with the earthquake?
Yeah.
That has to do with the remaining crystal.
Or
the earth crystal.
But it just made a whirlpool?
Yeah.
I guess
it happens, actually. Earthquakes do
that.
Generate whirlpools.
Like
and sometimes pretty bad ones, it turns out.
Because if there's just all of a sudden a gap in the land underneath the water, that water's going to go somewhere.
Yeah. And earthquakes just have the power to mess with water. Like, sometimes the Mississippi will just flow backwards on account of an earthquake.
Jeez, wouldn't that be a trip to see?
Well, I guess the world is over. I guess this is it.
I mean, what else could you think?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Ooh, it was too smart for me.
How? It's just a black chocobo. It just walks around.
Butts is like, that's because you're, and puts his finger on the forehead of that person, an idiot. Pushes him away slightly. Increase your strength.
So, there's also a bard class in this game, which I think I have already. But you learn the songs from individual bards throughout the world, as well as these pianos. There's like 7 or 8 of these pianos throughout the game, and if you find them all, you get some final song. But unfortunately, bards are fucking useless.
As we learned from Edward in the
As we learned from Edward the Coward.
He's the best at finding the water to talk about his feelings in front of. No, not this water. No one will see me brooding.
Oh no, I gotta make sure the ladies see me. No, ghosts of my love, I'm not gonna abandon you.
With a woman in the very next scene.
Yeah.
Different woman.
Like, it cuts to him, and he has one woman under his arm, and then cuts to his angry ghost spouse, and then cuts back to him, and there's just another woman.
And there's a smaller woman under that woman's arm.
Yeah. Right, another woman riding on that one's back.
Very tiny one.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I can't help it if I'm fucking gorgeous and my songs just attract the ladies.
But the ladies just love my flying V lute. I can get that bass and that rhythm. Come on. There you go. There you go.
Really wants you to know you're at a weapon shop. Nice.
Yeah, it's preparing. Well, it gives you weapons for a class you don't have yet, which is a hint.
I had just said nice, and this made me think of something completely unrelated. Well, almost. Jamie and we decided to go out one night, and it was rainy and shitty, but it wasn't cold. You know? It was just, it was like classic Seattle, right?
Yeah.
And so we're like, we should go do something just to get out of the apartment. And so we took the streetcar up to Capitol Hill, and wanted to go get some happy hour food at this place. And we get out, and we're walking down the sidewalk, and there's this real gnarly looking dude, and then like his female counterpart, and he, right as we pass by, he lets out this gigantic belch, and I was just like, I thought it was funny. And then the woman next to him just goes, nice. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, this place, like Seattle, thank you. Like, thanks for being you. Like, that's what I needed. It was like a fucking cartoon.
Yeah. There's no chocobo. That was a little walk. Yeah. I love the chocobo walking animation in this one. There's a little like wiggle butt.
See, I guess they are just assuming that all like magenta is black in this game. It's like, it's a black chocobo. Get it.
It's kind of racist of them. And just like in Final Fantasy IV, black chocobos can fly, except this one's too heavy. It has 4 people on its back. Those 4 people are strapped down with a whole adventurer's kit.
Yeah.
Armor.
Some tents.
Weapons. Multiple tents. Instead of just one tent that they can... I would prefer if a tent was like an expensive item. Like really expensive. And they're the shards.
Karate chop this fucker?
I think so. Because it swallowed the crystal shards.
Work!
Which... Crystal shards appear to be very small and light, but apparently that was just enough weight to keep it from being able to fly with our whole party.
Why did you want it? And that's the thing that outsmarted that guy?
Yeah.
This fucking bird that wanted to eat crystal shards for lunch?
Yeah, it was.
Then like Ferris just slaps it in the back of the head, just gives it a good chop, and...
So the 2 classes we just got are Bard and Hunter. Hunter is one of the most important classes in this game, and I'll go over that in a bit, since this episode's coming up on its end.
Yay. Waves and dances! This fucking Kirby dance. Butt shaking.
Yeah.
Mark.